first class. Gigi Theocarides.
Time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant, happy, safe, and sane Memorial Day to you, wherever you may be. Welcome to Dodger Stadium, where the Dodgers host the D-backs, who are 0-6 on a current road trip. The Dodgers have beaten them 5 out of 6. The Dodgers 2 games back of San Diego, and Arizona buried in last place in the West. The pitchers, Rodrigo Lopez going for Arizona, Chad Billingsley for the Dodgers, and the headline of the moment. In the Dodger lineup tonight, Andre Ethier is back. What a way to finish a month of May where the Dodgers have already won 19-8, and we'll try to put a ribbon on the package tonight. We'll get to the ball game. We'll have it all coming up for you right after this.
Dodger Stadium, let's get to our Lexus Pursuing Perfection. It's pitching. It's yesterday, Clayton Kershaw in Denver. I tell you what, since May 9th against Colorado here at Dodger Stadium, he's been tough to hit.
Yeah, he has. He had 9 strikeouts yesterday. Didn't have his good stuff. Gave up a couple runs in the first inning. He's done that now 5 out of his 11 starts. But look at what the top 3 guys have done in the month of May. Just ridiculous. Billingsley going today. Got a chance to up those numbers even more. Kershaw's numbers great. And the surprise guy, John Eli, out of nowhere after his first start in New York where he picked up the loss, been brilliant.
That's 11 wins for those 3 guys in May. That's pretty good. And Kershaw, I should say, Billingsley trying to make it 12. Coming back with first pitch and Vin next.
Want more MPG? Hyundai has it. Buy Shakey's. This player has the highest lifetime batting average of .367. Go to Shakey's.com/trivia. By AT&T. TV, high-speed internet, home phone, and wireless. Visit att.com or call 1-800-PIC-ATT for details. And by Southwest Airlines. Go to Southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Memorial Day evening to you, wherever you may be. The Dodgers and the Arizona Diamondbacks breaking the seal on the Dodger long homestand of 13 games on this Memorial Day. And before we do the usual, before we get to lineups and everything else, if you have some youngsters around who are wondering about the importance of this day, we just have a couple of things to drop in. Remember, it's not the veteran, not the preacher who has given us freedom of religion. It's those who have served this country so well. It's the veteran, not the reporter, who has given us freedom of the press. It's the veteran, not the poet, who has given us freedom of speech. It's the veteran, not the campus organizer, who has given us freedom to assemble. It's the veteran and not the lawyer who has given us the right to a fair trial. It is the veteran, not the politician, who has given us the right to vote. And it is the veteran who salutes the flag. That's the kind of day this is, something special. And especially do we want to pass along those thoughts to youngsters who might very well think of this day as, a great big holiday, hot dogs, go to the ballpark, barbecue in the backyard. That is all well and good. But as you and I know full well, that's not what this is about. So as we go to the first inning, the visiting Arizona Diamondbacks have had as bad a month of May as the Dodgers have enjoyed a happy one. The Arizona Diamondbacks are 9-19 in the month of May. They have a 7-game losing streak for the second time this year. They're on a road trip that has seen them lose all 6 games, and they are trying to get well at the expense of a ball club who's going the other direction. The Dodgers are 19-8 in the month of May. They have won 2 straight, where the Diamondbacks are 9-19 on the road. Dodgers 15-8 at home. And Chad Billingsley ready to pitch now to Kelly Johnson. First ball swinging, and he hits it over the head of Andre Ethier. One bounce against the wall, and steaming into second base is Kelly Johnson with a long double to right field. We'll try to give you the lineup now in case you want to write it down. Kelly Johnson followed by Justin Upton, and then Stephen Drew at short. You have Mark Reynolds at third and Adam LaRoche at first. Chris Young in center and Gerardo Parra in left field. Chris Snyder, the catcher, and Rodrigo Lopez is the pitcher. And for Chad Billingsley, with 4 straight wins, 1-0 against the D-backs, 8-5 in his career, and trying to win his 7th game of the year tonight. The pitch is down and away to Upton for ball 1. Kelly Johnson normally is the number 1 hitter in the league, better even than Todd Helton in number of pitches per plate appearance. So I think he kind of shocked Billingsley by swinging at the first pitch and hitting a double to right. So Justin Upton swings, doesn't get it. Upton is having a brutal road trip so far, and he is first in the National League in strikeouts, third in swings and misses, though he has really been struggling, and his average as he steps in down to 249. Billingsley ready and delivers, shows bunt, does Upton, it's called a strike, and the count 1-2. Give you an idea how it goes on this road trip for Justin Upton, and he is a multi-talented kid. He is 1 for 18. That would be a batting average of about a half a buck. So Upton, right-hand hitter waiting at the plate. Billingsley out of a stretch, comes to his hitter low, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. If you are watching on television, it's very apparent. If you're listening on radio, we'll just tell you that all of the players involved are wearing white hats. And we'll explain after we have a disposition of Justin Upton. 2-2 the count. Kelly Johnson at first with a leadoff double on the first pitch. And Billingsley now out of a stretch, a look back at second. And the 2-2 pitch on the way, hit in the air to right field and deep. Back goes Ethier at the scoreboard. Can't get it. It's over the wall for a home run. Justin Upton hit the very top of the right field padding, and it kicked out. So all of a sudden, a ball club that has been playing so poorly gets a leadoff double from Kelly Johnson and a home run by Justin Upton. And of course, perhaps the Dodgers would much rather have been playing a very hot team than an ice cold team. And for Andre Ethier, he just could not get it as it hit the padding and kicked out. 8th home run of the year for Justin Upton. And just like that, the D-backs with 2 hitters lead 2-0. And here is Stephen Drew, who takes a strike. And Stephen Drew has worn out Billingsley in the past. Stephen Drew is hitting a cool .415 with 17 hits and a home run against Billingsley. The pitch inside, and the count runs to 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, we didn't have a chance to tell you about those white hats. No sooner did we mention it than Upton hit it out. The 2-0 D-backs. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Drew takes inside ball 2. This is a welcome back veterans for Memorial Day. It's supporting Major League Baseball charities in efforts to provide grants and address returning veterans' greatest needs. 2-1 pitch on the way, taken ball 3. The caps worn by players, coaches, managers are available for sale to the public at MLB.com, and Major League Baseball donates all the proceeds to welcome back veterans. 3-1 pitch coming up, and Drew takes a strike outside corner. One other thought about the hats. Since the effort began in 2008, Welcome Back Veterans has awarded over $8 million in grants across the country targeting veterans and their families' greatest need. 3-2 pitch to Drew. Half swing, comes up empty and strikes out. So an interesting beginning. Kelly Johnson, who normally sees a lot of pitches, hits the first pitch for a double. Justin Upton, who was 1 for 18 on the road trip, promptly hits a home run. And then Stephen Drew, who normally wears out Chad Billingsley, strikes out. And the batter is Mark Reynolds. For the fact that Stephen Drew struck out, that's really not any news at all, because the D-backs are world-renowned for striking out. And the pitch to Mark Reynolds is in there for a strike, 0-1. The D-backs have struck out a major league high 468 times. The Astros have struck out 300. The Dodgers only 337, as a big long swing misses for Mark Reynolds, and the count 0-2. So Reynolds is second in the league in strikeouts. Teammate Justin Upton is first, and so it goes for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Strike 2 pitch on the way, foul back, and it's still 0-2. So Mark Reynolds hitting .225, 12 home runs, and 39 runs batted in. He averages a strikeout about every 2.5 at-bats. Here's the strike 2 pitch coming up, and Reynolds shies away from a pitch up and in. 1-2 the count. The lights are on, but this is an awkward time of day as far as trying to see that baseball. All of right and right center in brilliant sunshine. And the 1-2 pitch in a shade darkened infield is swung on and missed. So Drew and Reynolds strike out. 2 down, and the batter now will be Adam LaRoche. So Adam LaRoche following Drew and Reynolds, and the left-hand hitting first baseman checks in with Chris Young on deck. LaRoche hitting .272. He has 7 home runs, 33 runs batted in. Billingsley ready and delivers and drops a breaking ball low, ball 1. Couple of things about Adam LaRoche. The fact that A.J. Hinch has confidence in him. He's number 1 in the league, allowed to swing 3-0, and he is second in the league, allowed to swing 2-0. So you have to be very, very careful with him. And the 1-0 pitch on the way is taken for a strike, and the count 1-1. Adam LaRoche with his 33 runs batted in. Left-hand hitter, 2 down, 2-0 Arizona. We're in the first inning. And the 1-1 pitch on the way, and LaRoche takes a breaking ball off speed, dropped in for a strike, and the count 1-2. So Billingsley trying to right the ship. The 25-year-old has a 4-game winning streak. He comes back 1-2, and LaRoche waves at it and misses, and they're not going to stop the presses in Arizona. They're accustomed to that as they down go pitchers. The Dodgers have Percal, Kemp, and Ethier, Ramirez, Loney, and Blake, Martin, DeWitt, and Billingsley against right-hander Rodrigo Lopez. About 3 years ago, Rod had the Tommy John surgery. He's from Mexico, 6'1", 190, and he's 34 years old. So Lopez working on Rafael Percal, who shows bunt, takes a strike, and the count 0-1. So Rafael, as he checks in, batting .301 with 9 runs batted in. Switch hitter, as you know, all of his numbers from the left side. He's hitting .342 from this side of the plate. Lopez rocks on the rubber. Now the strike one pitch on the way. Big chopper to the right side. Kelly Johnson on it to throw him out. And just like that, one pitch and one away. On this road trip for Arizona that has seen them go 0-6 and building up a 7-game losing streak, the starting pitching has really been poor. Earned run average over 7. And believe it or not, the bullpen has it's gotten worse than when we saw it a couple of weeks ago. The earned run average in the bullpen is 8.5. So here's Matt Kemp, and Lopez turns on the rubber, and the right-hander deals. Matt takes a strike. He's hitting .276 with 10 home runs, 29 runs batted in. When they call the bullpen to bail him out, the relievers are not done well with inherited runners. Over 48% of the inherited runners have scored against the Arizona bullpen. Then, of course, if you put together Reynolds, Upton, and Young collectively, they hit 115 on this trip. And the pitch to Matt Kemp inside at the knees. 1-1 the count to Matt. Rodrigo Lopez trying to pick up a win. He is 2-3. Right-hander turns on the rubber without an elaborate windup, and the fastball is in at the knees. And the count 1-2. The other thing that has really plagued Arizona pitchers, the fact they have given up a major league high 86 home runs. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Matt Kemp off the plate, 2-2. They're on a pace to give up 274 home runs. That would break a record established by Detroit in 1996 when they surrendered 241. 2-2 pitch to Kemp, swung on and fouled away. Still 2-2 to Matt. Diamondbacks begin the day 10.5 games behind San Diego. Dodgers trail the Padres by 2. Padres play the Mets. Now the 2-2 pitch on the way, and Matt Kemp swings, beats it foul, and it's still 2-2. Another thing about Arizona pitching, they've allowed more than 300 runs. They're last in the league. And you have 4 teams who have allowed less than 200. Shocking difference. Phillies, Cardinals, Giants, and Padres less than 200. The pitch is in there, called strike 3. Matt stares and down he goes, and we have 2 out here in the first inning. And it's a welcome back moment for the crowd and for himself. As Matt Kemp looks at strike 3, here comes Andre Ethier. Andre has made a rather amazing recovery. Brings back that big average with 11 home runs, 38 runs batted in, hitting .392. And we'll see how he goes in his first at-bat, marking his return. Rodrigo Lopez delivers, fastball away, ball 1, 1-0. Hard to believe the Dodgers did as well as they did in the absence of Ethier, winning 10 out of 15. Dodgers have really chewed up the Western Division. The 1-0 pitch is taken for a strike. Dodgers are 15-5 within the division, and they have won 10 of the last 12 against the West. 1 ball and 1 strike to Andre Ethier. 2 down, 2-0 Arizona, first inning. and Ethia takes well inside, and the count goes 2-1. Ethia waiting. Manny Ramirez on deck. Lopez turns on the rubber. Rodrigo delivers. Ground ball to the right side, right at Kelly Johnson. 1-2-3 inning for Rodrigo Lopez. And at the end of an inning, Arizona 2, Dodgers nothing. Pitches in the first inning, and now it'll be Chris Young, followed by Gerardo Parra, and then Chris Snyder. I started doing this yesterday. I think I did it for myself more than anybody else, to remind myself of the tremendous debt that I owe to people down through the years who served in uniform, as Chris Young takes ball one, 1-0. And I'm more concerned really for the youngsters who might be watching or listening as we take in this game today. The 1-0 pitch on the way is swung on and missed, 1-1. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to duck in a couple of numbers along the way as the GIs are here taking in the game. And we'll start, and we're only going to use the number for the total dead and wounded in a few of our country's wars. The 1-1 pitch in for a strike, 1-2. Let's go all the way back to the Revolutionary War. There were 50,000 dead and wounded. Let's then move to the Civil War, and there were a lot of other wars in between. The 1-2 pitch to Young is way off the plate. The Union in the Civil War suffered a total of dead and wounded 646,000, and the Confederates at least 260,000. 2-2 pitch on the way is a high fly ball into deep left center. Kemp is watching that, head for the seats, and it's out of here. And just like that, the Diamondbacks have a 3-0 lead on home runs by Upton and Young. So the D-backs are a hungry ball club. They have now hit 62 home runs. Compare that to the Dodgers, who have 41. And for Young, who is not hitting at all on the road trip, his 8th home run and his 39th run batted in. So D-backs 3, Dodgers nothing, and Gerardo Parra, a left-hand batter coming up with a .244 batting average and 7 runs batted in. Billingsley into the windup now. The right-handed delivers, and it's low, ball 1. Let's move to World War I. The total dead and wounded, 320,518. The 1-0 pitch on the way, in for a strike. Let's move to World War II. 1,076,000 dead or wounded, plus over 30,000 missing. The 1-1 pitch waved at and missed. Let's go to the Korean War. And if you're old enough to remember the Korean War, they never called it a war. They called it a police action. Police action? Holy mackerel. 128,000 were killed or wounded, with 4,700 missing. The pitch inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Vietnam War. Total wounded and dead in combat, 211,454. The 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed, and down goes Park. In the Vietnam War, there were also about 2,500 among the missing. And then just to bring it up to date, and we're going to forget about all the battles in the Persian Gulf, but the war on terror right now, over 100,000. In Afghanistan, 7,000 dead or wounded. And in the Iraq War, over 36,000 wounded or dead. So those are the reasons we're here today, and those are the reasons why Memorial Day means so much to so many of us. And we want to make sure the little guys and girls who are coming up behind us understand what is behind this day, not just a ball game. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way to Snyder, and he takes high. Snyder had a tough time when the club went on the road. His wife was expecting and actually started to feel contractions, and there he is having to go out on the road with his ball club. The 2-0 pitch is whacked in the air to left center field. Ramirez going to the wall, watching this one go out. And a home run by Snyder, the 3rd home run in an inning and a third. And of course for Chris Snyder, what a way to celebrate, because he got home off the road, then his wife delivered, and he's the father of 3. And congratulations to Chris Snyder. So Upton homered with Johnson aboard. Young homered leading off the second. Now Snyder homers. So Billingsley had only allowed 4 home runs all year, and he's given up 3 now in less than 2 innings. Right-hander ready and pitches to Rodrigo Lopez and gets a strike. By the way, 3 home runs in a game. Yeah, Billingsley had that happen once before, 3 years ago. And it was against Arizona in June. Happy anniversary. 0-2 the count. 1 away, second inning, 4-0 D-backs. Billingsley's fastball is waved at and missed, and down goes Lopez. So Chad Billingsley, who struck out the side in the first inning, now has 5 strikeouts, but he's given up 3 home runs, and he's down 4-0. The leadoff man, Kelly Johnson, shocked him, I think, hitting the first pitch for that double over Andre Ethier's head. Kelly, left-hand batter, hitting .274, and takes the strike, and the count 0-1. 4 runs, 4 hits for the D-backs. And they've gone to the muscle. Johnson swings, doesn't get the next one, and the count 0-2. So with 3 home runs today, 63 home runs hit by Arizona. They are indeed the feast or famine hitters in the National League. Ground foul outside of first, and the count stays 0-2. Kelly Johnson, they had been with Atlanta, putting on a great show for Arizona. Exceptionally consistent and a fine fielding second baseman. The strike 2 pitch turns him around at the point of his right elbow, and a 1-2 count. Chad looks down the barrel to get a sign. 1-2 the count. Now Billingsley ready and delivers. Johnson swings and misses. So how would you like to be Chad Billingsley? You have struck out the side twice. You have 6 strikeouts in 2 innings, and you're buried 4-0 D-backs at the end of an inning and a half. out in the outfield. Justin Upton homered. So 3 home runs, and right now 4-0 D-backs. It's Manny Ramirez, James Loney, and then Casey Blake. Rodrigo Lopez deals, and the first pitch hit in the air foul, or first down the line and out of play. For Manny Ramirez, he celebrated his 38th birthday yesterday. Did not start, did appear briefly as a pinch hitter and struck out. He had never homered on his birthday, but he has homered 7 times the day after, May 31st, so we'll see. Strike 1 pitch off the plate, and a 1-1 count. Manny has 2 home runs in the past against Rodriguez. He has a total of 16 hits. So Lopez, feet together on the rubber, looks in to get a sign, and the 1-1 pitch. Manny swings, and a high drive into deep left center field. She is gone, and the Dodgers are on the board. And for the 8th time in his career, he is homered the day after his birthday. Manny got a ball above the belt, out over the plate, and over the wall and up into the pavilion it went. For Manny, that would be his 4th home run. 25 runs batted in, and it looks like we're going to have baseball's answer to a peer brawl here as James Loney comes up and Ramirez gets 5s in the Dodger dugout. 550 home runs in Manny's career. So here is Loney, and Lopez pitch swung on and foul back out of play, and the count 0-1. Casey Blake out on deck. James Loney against Rodrigo Lopez has 1 home run, 2 for 9. He backs away on a pitch inside, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count to James. For Loney, he has had tremendous success against Arizona in his career. His batting average against them, .356. This time he pops one off third base foul. Reynolds is there in foul ground and makes the catch for the out. So Loney fouls out, 1 away, and the batter, Casey Blake. While Andre Ethier was out, and we talked about the fact the Dodgers did surprisingly well for that spell. They went 10-5. One of the reasons was Casey Blake. Before Andre was injured, Casey was hitting .245. After the injury, he has been hitting .358. So his batting average is up to .277, and he fouls one back, 0-1 the count. So that's what helps the club. One goes down, another fills in the gap, and the Dodgers find themselves 2 back of San Diego and trying to win their 20th on the last day of May. The strike 1 pitch is swung on, hit in the air down the right field line, slicing foul, and back into the stands. Justin Upton in pursuit, but he ran out of real estate. 0-2 the count to Casey. 4-1 in favor of the Diamondbacks. Among other things, Chad Billingsley has struck out the side 2 consecutive innings, but he's given up 3 home runs and a double. For the Dodgers, they got a home run from Ramirez, and the strike 2 pitch to Blake is swung on, lifted to right center. The outfield is converging, and it'll be the center fielder, Chris Young. So Blake, a fly ball, 2 down, and Russell Martin coming up. Russell Martin has become certainly the hardest working catcher in baseball since 2007. He's caught over 4,000 innings, 4,077 going into tonight, and 386 so far this year. The pitch to Martin is taken off the plate, ball 1, 1-0. Despite the fact he has played so hard and long this year, He's third behind Jason Kendall and Yadier Molina, at least for a while. The pitch to Russell is high. 2-0 the count. 4-1 in favor of the D-backs. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Now the 2-0 pitch on the way. Lopez delivers, ground ball to short. Charging is Stephen Drew, throws to first, and that's the inning. So the Dodgers get one. A home run by Manny Ramirez. 8th time in his career. He's homered the day after his birthday. He is 550 now. Manny now with 550 home runs. That would put him, I believe, about 15 behind Jim Thome on the all-time list. And we go to the third. 4-1 Arizona. Upton, Drew, and Reynolds in that order. Upton homered with Johnson aboard in the first inning, and he takes low and away, ball one. What Upton's performance does really helps or hinders the Diamondbacks. I'll tell you why in a moment. The 1-0 pitch on the way is swung on, hit to center, playable. Matt Kemp started back, now comes in and makes the catch. When the D-backs win, he has 5 home runs, 28 runs batted in. When they lose, he has 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, and a 181 batting average. So the big difference. And he homered in the first inning. So the batter now, Stephen Drew, who normally wears out Billingsley, but struck out in the first inning. Fastball high, ball one, 1-0. We're in the third. 4-1 D-backs. Game 1 of the series, the beginning of the homestand. The 1-0 pitch on the way, outside, ball 2. Dodgers play Arizona tomorrow night, regular time. Then a 12-10 game on Wednesday. Here's the 2-0 pitch on the way. That's swung on and missed, 2-1. After Wednesday's game, another hot team coming in here, the Atlanta Braves. And that'll be a 4-game series with Bobby Cox's team. Now the 2-1 pitch. Billingsley delivers, gets it in there. 2-2. So Stephen Drew hanging tough at the plate, working on a 2-2 count. The 2-2 pitch to the D-back shortstop, ground ball to the right side. On it there easily, DeWitt to make the play. And we have 2 down. You know, the Dodgers opening day outfield comes to life this season with a series of collectible action figures. Thursday, the first 15,000 kids receive a Matt Kemp action figure presented by Grapes from California. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS. So we have 2 down, and here is Mark Reynolds. Billingsley ready, starts him with a strike, 0-1. Reynolds struck out back in the first inning. One thing, he strikes out a ton, but he can also hit the ball a mile. He takes a strike. So Mark in a hole, 0-2. He is second in the league in home runs off right-hand pitchers. So he has 12. The strike 2 pitch coming up. Reynolds waves and foul tips it, and it's into the dirt. So Mark is still there. Reynolds backs out, takes a little walk for the moment. We told you he strikes out about every 2.5 at-bats. He homers about every 14.5 at-bats. Chases a cutter way off the plate and strikes out a second time. So Billingsley now has 7 strikeouts, and we're heading for the bottom of the third, 4-1 D-backs. Four to one, bottom of the third inning. Many members of our armed forces in attendance tonight. We're honored to have them indeed. In the third inning, it'll be Blake DeWitt, Chad Billingsley, and then Rafael Furcal. And the first pitch a little high, ball 1. The D-backs scored twice in the first inning, and that is certainly nothing new for the Dodgers, because the Colorado Rockies scored twice each time in the first inning throughout a 3-game series. So the Dodgers have found themselves giving up a deuce in the first inning in 4 straight games. Not a nice way for any manager to begin the day. Now it's 4-1 D-backs, and the pitch to DeWitt is foul back. 2-1 the count. So you have the hot and the cold. I'm surprised we don't have some steam building up here. The hot Dodgers and the ice cold D-backs meeting on a beautiful early evening. Lopez rocks and turns. Rodrigo delivers 2-1, and that's swung on and missed. 2-2. A lot of swings and misses, and it could very well be partly the time of day. The field now in shadow, although there is a carpet out there in right field from the foul line. A little bit of sunlight left. Meanwhile, DeWitt Tries to hold up and does, says Bob Davidson. And a 3-2 count now to Blake DeWitt. Alfonso Marquez is behind the plate. Alfonso, 10.5 years in the big leagues, born in Mexico, lives in Arizona, went to Fullerton High School, first ever Mexican-born umpire to make it to the big league. And the pitch to DeWitt is ball 4. So before Billingsley, a reminder Wednesday. Enjoy an afternoon at Dodger Stadium with the business lunch special. Compliments of Staples. For a limited time, you can save 50% on field level tickets at Dodgers.com/Staples for that 12-10 game with the D-backs using the promo code Staples. That was easy. Well, here's Billingsley. We'll see if they have him bunting. He shows bunt. Lopez ready and deals. Chad pulls the bat back and takes a strike. He does have 4 sacrifices. So does Clayton Kershaw. Hiroki Kuroda leads the pitching staff with 5. Billingsley with the bat. He has 2 hits. Struck out a half a dozen times in 17 previous at-bats. 0-1 the count to Chad. Lopez said, here he comes again, and that one is off the plate. And we have a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Larry Boa looks at the dugout. Now Billingsley looks at him, and somewhere in there is a message. Over at first base, DeWitt anxiously staring across the diamond at Boa. 4-1 in favor of Arizona, bottom of the 3rd. Lopez at the belt. There goes DeWitt, and it's a hit-and-run ground ball to short. Drew throws to first for the out, and the Dodgers avoid the double play. So one way or another, Billingsley was going to get his man over. Couldn't do it bunting, so he does it swinging away and moves him up a notch. So Blake DeWitt is now at second with 1 out. Billingsley gets 5. Good work with the bat. And now Rafael Furcal, who grounded to second in the first inning. Rafael 0 for 1, hitting .298. Lopez out of a stretch, and Furcal backs out of the box, so timeout. Lopez has an earned run average of a little more than 4.5. Rafael in the past hitting .333 against Lopez, including a home run. Rod hands it his sides, now set. And the first pitch to Furcal is swung on and fouled away off first base. 0-1 the count. Don't forget the pitching for the series. Dan Herron tomorrow night at 7:10 against John Eli, and Edwin Jackson Wednesday afternoon against Carlos Monasterios. Eli making his own mental notes. The strike 1 pitch coming up to Furcal, and that's a fastball in there. 0-2 the count. One of the big shocks so far this year for Arizona has been a very talented pitcher by the name of Dan Herron. Dan Herron, here we are, the last day in May, has given up 16 home runs. The strike 2 pitch on the way is swung on, hit in the air to right center. Outfield is trying to converge, but it's going to bounce against the wall. Stopping at third is DeWitt on a long double by Rafael Furcal. It short hopped the wall, but at the same time, with Young and Upland both racing to the gap, DeWitt could not commit. And only when it short hopped the wall was DeWitt able to move over to third. So it's a long double, but it only moves up the runner 1 base. And the Dodgers now have runners at second and third, and Matt Kemp coming up. 4-1 in favor of the D-backs, and the Dodgers with a look at the game right now. Kemp struck out in the first inning looking. On deck, Andre Ethier. Lopez now turns ready, right-hander deals, line drive, base hit, scoring 1. Furcal started to go back to second base. He thought that perhaps that could be caught by Stephen Drew. So Kemp gets a base hit to cash in DeWitt. Stopping at third is Furcall, and the batter will be Andre Ethier.
Dodger right fielder, number 15, Andre.
D-backs 4, Dodgers 2. But remember, on this road trip, the pitching has an earned run average, the starting pitching for Arizona, over 7. So Andre Ethier grounded out in the first inning. Andre checking in. They have, I think, put a rubber device or heavy tape on the knob of the bat. That's the one thing they've done for him as he looks at a pitch for a strike, and the count 0-1. It was the knob of the bat and where his little finger was that caused all the trouble. So I guess you could say they have padded the end of the bat. 0-1 the count. Now the strike one pitch in time. You know, the Lakers helped the Dodgers. You heard about that? When Andre had his finger in a splint, Stan Conti called the Lakers and talked to their trainer about hand injuries, especially finger digit injuries. And the Laker trainer, first name is Gary, and Gary advised them how to put a different kind of a splint on Andre's little finger, and apparently it's really worked. Gary VD would be his last name to acknowledge his expertise. 0-1 the count to Andre Ethier. 4-2 D-backs, but the Dodgers have runners at the corners, and the next pitch hit in the air, foul down the line, slicing back towards the stands and out of play. So the D-backs scored 2 in the first and 2 in the second. The Dodgers had Ramirez homer in the second, and now DeWitt walked and he scored on a single by Kemp. Furcall had doubled, is now at third, and here's Ethier working on an 0-2 count. Well, Andre, in a very brief 2 games, I think he hit 600 in the minors, but that doesn't count now as Lopez looks in to get a sign. Rodrigo out of a stretch, and the right-hander strike 2 pitch to Andre Ethier. Swung on, fouled away, upstairs off third. Still 0-2. Andre hitting .389, 11 home runs, 38 runs batted in, and of course has always tormented Arizona, and especially it would seem in Phoenix. Every time we go over there, it's Ethier wearing out the D-backs. Furcall down the line from third. Kemp a threat to run over at first. Lopez takes a peek at him now to the plate, and there's a shot back to the pitcher on a line. They throw over to first for the double play as Lopez caught that thing about ankle high. So the line drive takes the Dodgers out of the inning. They settle for 1, and at the end of 3, it's 4-2 Arizona. shutout. Tracy came out to talk to him, and Albaldo assured him, no, I'm ready. I got enough gas in the tank. So Tracy said, okay. And gas he had, even though that ball was hit right on the button. It was the final out. Jimenez lowered his major league ERA to 0.7. He made 128 pitches for a complete game. Lincecum made 120 pitches in 5 2/3. And when it's all said and done, Ubaldo is just out of sight now. 10-1, and Lincecum 5-2. Now back here in our game, the 2-0 pitch swung on and missed by Adam LaRoche. Remember, we told you earlier that he is allowed to swing 2-0. He's second in the league in that count. He's first in the league swinging 3-0. So Adam waits at the plate. 7 home runs, 33 runs batted in, fouls the next one back. 4-2 Diamondbacks. We're in the fourth. Two and two. Foul back. LaRoche is the fellow apparently with a pretty good sense of humor. He was born in Orange County, but he lives in Fort Scott, Kansas. He has a big ranch. And as a first baseman, it's notable that the branding iron that he uses on the ranch, E3, which normally means error first baseman. A drive hooking into the gap. Kemp over to play it on a bounce, but even so, LaRoche a turn and holding. Nice play by Matt Kemp to hold that to a single. So Matt has covered so much ground, and there's a lot of ground to cover over in Colorado. Makes a fine play to hold LaRoche to a single. Now Chris Young. Young homered leading off the second inning. 8 home runs. It's the 3rd home run that he has hit now in his young career against Billingsley. Ran up to bunt. 0-1 the count to Chris. He averages an RBI about every 5 at-bats or so. The one thing about Young, if you're looking for him to hit a lot of ground balls, you'll not see it. He is basically a fly ball hitter, even if he might hit one on the ground now. 1 ball and 1 strike. His ground outs to air, 0.5. So he hardly ever hits a ground ball. But with that in mind, let's look it up. He has hit into 1 double play. 1 ball and 1 strike. LaRoche hit first. 4-2 D-backs. 4th inning. Wouldn't you know? On the chalk, let it go foul, says Billingsley, and it pays off. Young runs very well. So he'll have to come back 1 and 2. So Young making the walk back. One of the more improved hitters in the league. Last year he hit 196 against right-handers. His overall batting average now is 279. One and 2 the count to Chris Young. He'll be 27 in September. Martin trying to figure out how to get him out. Young has stolen as many as 27 bases, so you know he runs well. That breaking ball dropped in, but just a little high. 2 and 2. D-backs 4, Dodgers 2. And a towering fly ball. No surprise. Ramirez to the track, at the wall, makes the catch. The Chris Young long fly ball out. LaRoche holding at first. Manny almost ran out of room. And the batter now, Gerardo Parra. And after hitting a fly ball, Young goes back to the dugout. 4-2 D-backs, one away, 4th inning, and here is Parra. One reason that Parra is playing is the fact that Connor Jackson is really struggling. So Parra gets an opportunity, also a left-handed bat in the lineup, and a strike. Parra came to the D-backs last year. He's from the Dominican. 0-2 the count. Parra in the minors still 23-24. Oh, and 2. Poke foul. Last year he really struggled. He was okay 5 for 12 as a base stealer, but he grounded into 18 double plays. 0-2 with LaRoche at first and 1 out. Ball 1. Billingsley giving up 3 home runs to Upton, Young, and Snyder. He has also struck out 7, and we're only in the 4th inning. Bouncer off his glove, fielded by Furcal, on the bag, and there's another double play, grounded into by Gerardo Parra. So the numbers don't lie. We figured that Chris Young would hit a fly ball. He sure did. Parra hits the double play, and it's 4-2. The 4th inning, Arizona leading the Dodgers 4-2. Manny Ramirez, James Loney, and Casey Blake on this Memorial Day. Constant reminders everywhere in the ballpark. Manny homered in the second inning, leading off, number 550 in his career. Manny has 3 home runs against Rodrigo. And the first pitch in there. Lopez against the Dodgers is 0-1. He's 2-2 against the other teams. His earned run average against the Dodgers is 6. It's 4 against the others. And the Dodgers hit pretty well against him. The Dodger average 346. The others in the league hit about 270 against him. So it is certainly not his favorite team. He's 1-2 lifetime. 1-1. Foul back. 1-2 to Manny. One thing, and it's a very small thing, it's just an observation. I don't even know what it means. But since Manny came back, he'll foul a ball straight back, but most of his foul balls go way off to the right. You rarely, so far, during this time he's back, have we seen him pull a ball foul. One reason, I guess, they try to throw a lot of pitches down, sliders away. The ball he hit was above his belt buckle, out over the plate. Got him. Inside corner, $1 million pitch. The Ramirez is frozen as Lopez takes care of it. So he has 2 strikeouts, Kemp and now Ramirez. Ran it right in there. A little breaking ball got it. For Lopez, 20 walks and 35 strikeouts coming in. And now Loney. Fouled out in the second inning. But as always, tormented the Diamondbacks. Ball 1. As we mentioned, his career, he's hitting .356 against Arizona. For the year, hitting .289. 1 ball and no strikes to James. 2-0. Loney had a good day yesterday in Denver. He doubled in a run. He had a scoring fly ball for a run, and he speared a line drive and saved 2 runs. Fouled away. 2-1. Which reminds me, I was just going to say the Dodgers made some great defensive plays. One of them, Reed Johnson, one by Loney, and one by Xavier Paul. And that reminds me to remind you that Xavier Paul, to make room for Andre Ethier, has been sent down. 2-1. Line to right field, coming up in a hurry is Upton, and slides into the catch. Nice play by Justin Upton. Loney a tough out, lines out to right. So Justin stays with that sinking line drive, and we have 2 down. Bottom of the 4th, 4-2 Arizona. Yes, sir, you're my man, says Lopez. And the batter is Casey Blake. Fly to center in the second inning. Ball 1. Casey hitting .275, but for the last almost 2 weeks, as we mentioned, he really picked up the slack when Ethier went down. 1-1 the count. Andre coming back tonight. Grounded out, lined into a double play. Fastball fouled away. This is, I would expect, a tough time now. It's about 17 minutes after 7, according to the numbers atop the scoreboard. The lights really can't take effect because the canopy above is so bright, so blue, but it is dark down on the field. 1-2. 2-2. Blake with Russell Martin on deck. and slapped into right field, but here comes Upton to pick it off. So the Dodgers go 1-2-3 thanks to that sliding catch by Justin Upton, and at the end of 4-2 D-backs. Money indeed, a Memorial Day trivia. Which Hall of Fame pitcher was the first major leaguer to enlist in the United States military for World War II? Well, we'll give you the answer in a while. 4 runs, 5 hits for the D-backs, 2 runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers, and it'll be Chris Snyder, followed by Lopez and Johnson. Snyder, the new daddy, got a big break on the road. The wife close to giving birth, and as he said, she's a trooper, held on just long enough for the club to come home, and she had Trevor Snyder, the couple's 3rd child. 1 ball and no strikes. Snyder, by the way, has never been known as much of a hitter, but it should be pointed out that he's doing very well this year. He has 25 runs batted in. So he's right up there with some of the better hitting catchers. 1-1. 1-2. Snyder with 25 runs batted in. Miguel Olivo has 25. Yadier Molina and Rod Barajas each have 28. Chris hitting .230. Off the plate, 2-2 the count. The Chad Billingsley has surrendered home runs to Upton, Young, and Snyder. Yesterday, Snyder hit an opposite field home run at San Francisco. And that was rather memorable, and we'll tell you why. 2-2. Line foul. When he hit a home run the other way, that was only the 30th opposite field home run by a right-handed batter in the 11 years of the ballpark in San Francisco. Another thing about Chris is his defensive abilities. He has a consecutive errorless streak, 235 games. And he's up there making Billingsley work. Chris Snyder and Chad Billingsley were in the 5th. 4-2 Arizona. Snyder is 6'3" and 230 out of Texas. 29 years old. Foul tip held by Martin, and down he goes. 8 strikeouts for Chad Billingsley. 1 away. Be sure to join the Dodgers Friday at 7:10, 70s night. The first 20,000 fans take home a foil stamped limited edition poster featuring James Loney and Casey Blake. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS. One away, Lopez struck out in his first at-bat. For Billingsley, in his starts this year, he's had 7 strikeout twice, and so tonight 8 is a high. And Lopez on the edge of being number 9. 2 years ago against Florida, Billingsley struck out 13. 0-2. Fouled away. Interesting with the count 0-2. Last year, if Billingsley started 0-1 in the count, the hitters hit 184. Tonight, all 3 home runs came with the Arizona hitter in front, 1 ball and no strikes. The count means so much. 1-2. Foul back. Lopez, as a starting pitcher, has had 24 at-bats, and he has 3 hits, but he has struck out 11 times, just about a half. 1-2 the count. Big, hard-breaking cutter or slider down and away. 2-2. Four-2 favor the D-backs. They scored 2 in the first, 2 in the second. Fastball is low. Ball 3. Lopez is the proud possessor of 1 walk, and waiting on deck, Kelly Johnson, the leadoff man. Little tapper foul. So Billingsley struggling to put the opposing pitcher away, even though he's on a strikeout night with 8 strikeouts. So Lopez hanging tough up there. 3-2 count. And ground ball to the right side. Lopez just jogging down the line, but he made Billingsley work, and he also made contact. So we have 2 down, and Kelly Johnson, who hit the first pitch of the game for a double, following a 9-pitch at-bat to pitcher Lopez. So we'll see if that has any effect. Now remember, Johnson normally gets a lot of pitches. Ball 1. I mean, you would grow old and weary pitching to Kelly Johnson and Todd Helton in the same lineup. And ball 2 to the backstop. Billingsley over the 70 pitch mark right now in the 5th inning. Down 4-2, trying to extend a 4-game winning streak. And looked like a cutter slider for ball 3. Johnson, number 1 in the league, averages just about 4.5 pitches statistically every at bat. 3-1. away, 3-2. One of the things Kelly Johnson does very well, they say, those who watch him every day, he hangs in there against left-hand pitching. He has 12 home runs. 5 of the 12 against left-hand pitchers. And got it. It went too deep. Billingsley puts him away. 9 strikeouts for Chad Billingsley, but 3 home runs allowed, and he walks off trailing 4-2. Russell Martin grounded to short in the second inning, hitting .249, 4 home runs, 13 runs batted in. Ball 1. Interesting so far, we're in the bottom of the 5th inning. There's been only 1 man left on base. The Diamondbacks have not had a man left on. They've cleaned up with 3 home runs and also a double play. The Dodgers have left 1. That's popped up to the right side. Johnson and LaRoche. It will be Johnson. Okay, remember the trivia question? It's rather pertinent on this particular Memorial Day. The question was, which Hall of Fame pitcher was the first major leaguer to enlist in the U.S. military for World War II? And you were right if you said Bob Feller, enlisted in the Navy in 1941. So December 8th, he enlisted the day after Pearl Harbor and fought in both the Atlantic and the Pacific. And hats off to him. Strike to Blake DeWitt. DeWitt walked, came around, scored a run. 1 ball and 1 strike. 4 runs, 5 hits for A.J. Hinch and his club. 2 runs, 3 hits, and no errors for Joe Torre. Little roller. Playing deep was Johnson, and just got him. 2 out.
Pitcher number 58, Chad Billingsley.
And Chad Billingsley coming up. So DeWitt goes back to the dugout. Dodgers have 3 hits. Kemp a single, for Call a double, and Ramirez a home run. Billingsley grounded out in the 3rd inning. Chad now has made 90 pitches. And a strike. To repeat, Ubaldo Jimenez pitched a shutout, beat the Giants and Tim Lincecum. His record is 10-1. And the big guy made 128 pitches to go the distance. Lincecum went 5 2/3 innings, made 121 pitches over that stretch alone. 1-1 to Chad. Fouled it. 1-2. That shook up Chris Snyder a little bit. And he's able to grin about it. And what they do, the plate umpire, just to give the catcher a chance to rest, and it got him on the right arm. So Alfonso Marquez immediately went out and cleaned off home plate. 1-2. Just missed. Billingsley hitting 111. Rodrigo Lopez 0-1 against the Dodgers. 2-3 this year, so he'd like to balance his books. Ground ball up along third. Reynolds takes care of it, and the Dodgers go quietly. That's 7 in a row retired. At the end of 5, 4-2 D-backs. Nothing. They have the bases loaded, nobody out, and Don Drysdale has a string of scoreless innings. He goes 3-2, and he hits the catcher Dick Dietz of the Giants. You figure there's a run. There goes all the shutout innings. But Harry Wendelstedt, the plate umpire, said no, that Dietz did not make any effort to get out of the pitch. Well, they made him pitch again. Dietz hit a pop fly for an out. The next man, Ty Klein, he popped out. The next man was Jackie Hyatt. He popped up, and Drysdale and the Dodgers had a 3-0 victory, and Don now had 5 consecutive shutouts and went on, as you know, for 58 2/3. Well, what a moment. Hit by the pitch with the bases loaded, and it wasn't allowed. Let's go back to this one. Four to 2 in favor of the D-backs, with Justin Upton to lead it off. First ball swinging, a towering foul out of play, and certainly a play in the stands. 0-1. Upton homered in his first at-bat, having a terrible road trip, 1 for 18, but boy did he wake up in a hurry with that home run. And rolls one up the middle for call. Nice pick, throw, and gets him. One away. Good play by Raphael. And the batter will be Stephen Drew.
Shortstop number 6, Stephen Drew.
Stephen Drew normally wears out Billingsley. He came into the game with big numbers against him. 17 hits and a home run and a .415 batting average, but tonight struck out, rounded out, 0 for 2. Off the plate, ball 1. One ball and no strikes. The home runs have come on that count. Home run to Upton in the first inning, home run to Young in the second inning, home run to Snyder in the second inning, all on 1 ball, no strike count. Now he's 2-0. Little chopper to Loney. He'll do it himself for the second out. So for Billingsley, he's allowed 1 hit since Snyder's home run in the second inning.
Mark Reynolds.
And in that inning, Parra hit into a double play, so he only had 3 men. So now with 2 out, Mark Reynolds, who has struck out twice against him. Reynolds has struck out 10 times in 25 at-bats against Billingsley. But typical Reynolds, he also has 2 home runs against him. Foul back. Mark Reynolds out of Pikeville, Kentucky. 6'1", 200. Early August, he'll only be 27, so he's going to be around a while. Went to the University of Virginia. Played with Ryan Zimmerman, who was playing so well for Washington with 2 home runs against San Diego yesterday. 1-1. 1-2. Reynolds has never had much luck here anyway. In Mark's career, not only against Billingsley, but against the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium, he came in hitting .177 here. High pop fly to right field. DeWitt goes out and calls. That'll be that. So another nice inning for Chad Billingsley. But the Dodger question is, how do we catch up? It's 4-2 Arizona. Can you cut it and still hit a home run? Look at that ball. Right on top of the padding and then went out. It could easily have come the other way. And, of course, Ethier came very close to catching it. But home run for Justin Upton, but a close look thanks to the freeze cam. And Justin now out there in right field made a fine play on a ball hit by James Loney. Dodgers will have Furcal, Kemp, and Ethier. Andre getting ready as Rafael checks in. Dodgers held to 3 hits through 5 innings. Strike. That's one reason Lopez has walked 1, Blake DeWitt in the 3rd inning. Rafael hitting .305, grounded out and doubled. Bunts, charging it, LaRoche, and the tag. Now that's the rare bunt by Furcal. Normally, what Rafael likes to do, as you probably know, is slap the ball between the mound and the third baseman. This time he tried to drag it, but he hit it a little too hard, and LaRoche got him going by. So 1 down, and the batter, Matt Kemp. Kemp struck out looking in the 1st inning, singled in the 3rd. In that 3rd inning, the Dodgers had DeWitt walk, take 2nd on a ground ball, and even though Furcal doubled off the base of the left center field wall, DeWitt only went from 2nd to 3rd, fearing it might be caught. So that when Kemp singled, the Dodgers got just 1, and Furcal had to stop at 3rd. So they had a walk, a single, and a double for 1 run in the 3rd, and they're trailing 4-2. Hit in the air, down the right field line, Upton a long way to come, across the line, dives in. I think he feels he might have had a play. However, that fan, rightfully, that's okay. I mean, when the ball goes in the stands, that's his territory. You go running over, that's like swimming with the sharks. Though Upton might have felt a little disappointed, but the fans had every right to that ball. Not like in Colorado, where that fan caused such a mess by leaning over and spearing a ball in play, and the big argument. And finally, Barmes was granted a home run. 2-2. Rodrigo Lopez doing a good job. He grew up in Mexico, idolizing, of course, Fernando Valenzuela. And eventually, Rodrigo Lopez was signed by the Padres, and he met his hero in spring training. Remember, Fernando spent 3 years pitching with the Padres. And he'd take Lopez out to dinner once in a while and really help him. Lopez had Tommy John surgery. 1 hopper into left field, base hit. So Matt Kemp is 2 for 3. Only the 4th hit allowed by Rodrigo Lopez. And now here's Andre Ethier. Andre Ethier returning tonight. Grounded to 2nd. Hit a line drive back at the ankles of Lopez. Rodrigo caught it, threw to 1st to double up Kemp. So Andre is 0 for 2. Hitting .386, 11 home runs, 38 runs batted in. 4-2 in favor of the D-backs. But again, remember when Manny Ramirez homered and he's on deck, that was the 87th home run allowed by Arizona pitchers this year. 87. Ethier was 5 for 11 against Lopez prior to tonight. Off the plate, 1 ball and no strikes. Ethier checking with Boa. When Lopez was in the minors, among other things, he was signed by a Mexico City team. He was 17 years old. And later on, his first pitching coach was Rick Sutcliffe, the former Dodger pitcher. There goes Kemp. The pitch low. Snyder's throw is high. Snyder had a tough pitch to handle. Kemp had a pretty good jump. Snyder made it close, but the pitch is down. He had a backhand and come up throwing, and Matt's in there. So for Matt Kemp, a stolen base, number 7. He's been caught 8 times and just did keep that foot on the bag. So 1 out, a runner at second, 4-2 D-backs in the 6th inning. Fouled away. Ethier might have cracked the bat. Let's see. He also got his right hand off that bat right away, but it was a crack. Now let's see if all of his bats have the padding on it. Can't tell with the hand on the bat. No. So the bat he cracked was the one that had the knob covered. That's kind of interesting. Wouldn't you think they'd cover up the knob of a couple of his bats? I mean, just in case he would break one. But all right, trying to pick up Kemp. 1 out. And popped in the air foul. Snyder coming back. Reynolds coming down. Snyder. So a fine play by the catcher as Ethier fouls out and goes 0 for 3. And here comes Manny. He came up leading off the 2nd inning. And home run number 550 was at the other end of that swing. For the 8th time in his career, he has homered the day after his birthday. He has never homered on his birthday. Because yesterday he had only 1 at bat as a pinch hitter and struck out. So putting up a big number, 427 in his career. He has 3 home runs and 17 hits against Rodrigo Lopez. Kemp still at second with 2 out. Ball 1. Down in San Diego, the Padres are leading 4-1. Jerry Hairston hit a grand slam home run in the 2nd inning. So they're heading for the 3rd, 4-1 Padres. Kemp at second, 2 out, 4-2 D-backs. Dodgers have beaten Arizona 5 out of 6. On the outside corner. 1-1. Lopez cranks it up to about 91 with that fastball. He had the Tommy John surgery in August of 2008. Fastball, cutter, change, slider. Manny tired of waiting. 1 ball and 1 strike. Lopez was an ace of the Baltimore Orioles pitching staff. He won 15 games. Made a good strong run for the American League Rookie of the Year. And as they have a meeting, another note about Lopez. When he won those 15, he had 8 victories before the All-Star break. The first rookie Orioles pitcher to pitch that well since Dennis Martinez in 1977. So he's been a good, knowledgeable pitcher without ever having huge years. His best year, 15-9 with Baltimore. 1-1 to count to Manny. Big duel here. He represents the tying run. And he whacks it to center, but here comes Young to pick it off. Boy, they have some rabbits out there with Upton in right and Young in center. So no runs, a hit, a man left at the end of 6, 4-2 D-backs. Filled artisan bread with a cup of the new Kona Classic coffee. And by your Southern California Ford dealers, where you'll find the new Transit Connect. Check it out at scforddealers.com. We're going to the seventh inning, 4-2 D-backs. Breaking ball off the plate to Adam LaRoche. 1 ball and no strikes. LaRoche struck out, singled, 1 for 2. One and one. Pretty good fastball, the cutter to the left-hand hitter. LaRoche, Young, Parra, if anybody gets on Snyder. One and two. 93 fastball. So as Billingsley goes over the 100 pitch mark, he's still throwing hard. 1 and 2 the count. Got him. Set him up with cutters, fastballs, and puts him away with a fastball. 1 down. That is the 10th strikeout for Chad Billingsley. Take a look. First 2 innings, he allowed 4 runs, 4 hits, 3 home runs and a double. And the last 4 and a third, 1 hit, a single by LaRoche. The Hyundai key to the game. And the batter, Chris Young. We mentioned earlier that Mark Reynolds has never done well here at Dodger Stadium. And Chris Young also falls into that category. In his career, which is not that long, he was hitting 167 at Dodger Stadium when he homered in the 2nd inning. Admittedly, it was his 3rd home run hit here, but only a 167 average. Broken bat, ground ball to Casey Blake, and 2 down. That bat shattered. Billingsley is on a roll. 10 in a row retired now. And the batter, Gerardo Parra, who struck out and hit into a double play. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 7th, Loney, Blake, and Martin. Chopper to Furcal. See you later. Quick inning. That's 11 in a row retired by Chad Billingsley, but with 10 strikeouts, he walks off losing 4-2. And the crowd now will be asked to stay and sing God Bless America and take me out to the ball game.
Land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home.
Sergeant First Class Gigi Theocarides.
Four to two, seventh inning. And of course, one of the big questions here tonight, if Lopez cannot go the distance, and it looks like he's asking for a little help, or then again, maybe he's just thanking for the first six. But either way, if he does not go the distance and he's averaging 6 innings a start, what about the Arizona bullpen? It has been worse, they tell me, than it was when they were poor when we were over in Arizona. Oh, let's see. It's a strike to James Loney. Loney tonight fouled out, lost a base hit on a nice running catch, sliding at the end for Justin Upton. 0-2 the count to James. A little low, 1-2. And a line drive right at Kelly Johnson. So Loney has hit 2 right on the button and lined out to right, lined out to second. 1 away, and the batter Casey Blake. For Lopez, he has not reached the 100 pitch mark, I don't believe. And here's Blake, fly to center, fly to right. 4-2 Arizona. We'll repeat what we said about the bullpen. In April, the earned run average of the Arizona bullpen was 6.8. In May, it's 8.5. 0-2. So that's the big thing for A.J. Hinch. They're last in the league with an earned run average of almost 8. They've given up a bunch of runs. And as they sit back in the shadows, it's up to Lopez. 0-2. 1-2. Blake with Martin on deck. Rodrigo trying to hang in there. Hit foul. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Ramon Troncoso begins to loosen up. So when you look at these two teams, they are in direct contrast. The starting pitching has been weak. The Dodger pitching has been very good. The Dodger bullpen has been absolutely outstanding. Diamondback pen has been anything but. And the Dodgers are 19-8 in May, and the Diamondbacks are 9-19. Well, you talk about the opposite side of a coin. 2-2. Fastball got him. Casey backs away after a 91-mile-an-hour fastball puts him on the shelf. That is only the third strikeout for Rodrigo Lopez, so it's not as if he's overpowering the hitters at all, but he is getting the job done. One reason he has not been falling behind in the count. So here's Martin, grounded to short, popped up, and hits one in the air, but on his horse is Young, and that'll be that. So the Dodgers can't do very much against Rodrigo Lopez. He's gotten through 7, and at the end of 7, 4-2 Arizona. Lead off the second inning, hit one back into the crowd. That was followed by Chris Snyder, the catcher's home run, and all of a sudden, Billingsley was being ripped. However, Ramirez came back with a home run of his own, number 550, and since then, the pitchers have really been in control. Chad Billingsley, through 7 innings, has struck out 10. But he's not been able to recover, or at least his hitters have not been able to recover from the early lead on the home runs by Arizona. With 10 strikeouts tonight, that's the most this year. To repeat, he had 13 2 years ago against Florida. And here is Chris Snyder, the new daddy. Strike, 0-1. Chris homered, struck out, 1 for 2. 25 runs batted in, and a ground ball to Furcall. 1 away. One of the things about Rodrigo Lopez as he makes his way to the mound is if he tires, who is going to close the game? Normally, you would say, well, Chad Qualls, he has 9 saves. However, Qualls had his 4th blown save in the 9th inning yesterday in San Francisco. He gave up 2 runs, 4 hits, allowing the Giants to tie the score. It went into extra innings. And eventually the Giants pulled it out. Right. Giants couldn't pull it out today, however. Not against Ubaldo Jimenez. So the out will be recorded at first. That's 11 strikeouts for Chad Billingsley. By the way, you're traveling this season? Take the Dodgers with you. Subscribe to MLB.TV today. See every Dodger game live or on demand on your computer. Visit Dodgers.com, order, and get more details. Local in-market blackouts will apply. So 2 down, bases empty. And the string is really running out now. 2, 5, 8, 11, 13 in a row retired by Chad Billingsley. Kelly Johnson has doubled and then struck out twice. And for Chad Billingsley, he's due to bat second in the bottom of the 8th inning. Off the plate. That pitch was pitch number 115. He made 116 pitches against Arizona, but that was back on April the 14th. Four runs, 5 hits for Arizona, 2 runs, 4 hits for the Dodgers. Trying to make it 14 in a row. Trying to retire the side in order, 4 straight innings. Ground ball, big hop, and it gets by Loney. The Kelly Johnson singles to right field and goes 2 for 4. Looked like the ball was going to be played by Loney, and then it suddenly took the big hop and jumped away from him. Take another look. He's gone over to backhand it, then he turns the glove the other way because the ball goes the other direction, and tick the glove. Now Loney and Johnson can talk about the errant ways of a ground ball. So that breaks the string. Justin Upton hit a 2-run home run, flied to center, grounded to short. And a strike. For Kelly Johnson over there at first base, he has stolen 5 out of 7. So it's a question whether they want to keep Kelly, and that means Loney at the bag, or do they want to run him? 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Of course, with Upton's power, 8 home runs, 27 runs batted in. They might want to make sure they give him a good swing. Big puncher right on the ground to Loney, and that's that. So no runs, 1 hit, a man left. We're heading to the bottom of the 8th, 4-2 Arizona. In the bottom of the 8th inning, the first question is, can the Dodgers get Lopez out of the game? He has averaged a little more than 6 innings a start. This would be his 11th start. Ronnie Belliard is out on deck, and that's ball 1. Down in the Dodger bullpen, newcomer Justin Miller warms up, so Troncoso took a seat, and Belliard would bat for Billingsley. DeWitt, ground ball to the left to Drew. Stevens stays with it. Nice play, 1 away. The Dodgers have had 1 hit since the 3rd inning. That was a single by Kemp, who stole second and stayed there. So Billingsley, a great effort. He made 120 pitches and gave up the 4 runs in the first 2 innings and was absolutely brilliant after that. But the Dodgers have not been able to do much at all against Rodrigo Lopez. So Belliard will now come up and test him. Belliard hitting .313 against Rod, 5 for 16. Right. Belliard has not had a lot of success coming off the bench. He's just 3 for 14. 1-1. Padres are winning. Giants lost. Colorado won. Foul ball. Ubaldo Jimenez shut down the Giants. He's now 10-1, beating Tim Lincecum. Four runs, 6 hits for Arizona. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Dodgers. Foul back. In San Diego, catcher Nick Hundley just doubled in 2, and the Padres now have a comfortable lead, 6-1 in the 4th inning against the Mets. 1-2. Thinking about the Mets, and for some reason I think of Casey Stengel, who had a line about the Mets in those days, and it would be applicable to Arizona for the moment. Casey said, "We are last on merit." That's what's been going on with the D-back. It's a playable fly ball, and it'll be Upton. So 2 down in the 8th inning, and Rafael Furcal coming up, and the Dodgers now starting to run out of outs, and Lopez has made 100 pitches. Lopez, 10 previous starts, piled up only 63 innings, though averaging just a bit more than 6. That's a strike. Going back to 2004, Lopez had a complete game for Baltimore. The year before he had 3, and the year before that he had 1. So he's had 5 complete games in his entire career. 0-2. So he's pitching a gem tonight. Another thing, he's allowed only 4 hits. Prior to tonight, he's been averaging over 10 hits per 9 innings. 0-2. Just a showcase fastball away. 1-2. Rafael grounded to second, doubled at the gap in left center, grounded to first. Ground ball to the hole, smothered by Drew, can't make a throw. So Stephen Drew did a great job to even get to the ball. And for Rafael, he singles and goes 2 for 4. Keeps the door open, and it'll be Matt Kemp coming up. Matt Kemp is 2 for 3 tonight with singles against Lopez. Coming into the game, 3 for 9. Though he's now 5 for 12 with a home run. For call, giving Lopez something to think about. Here's ball 1. Rafael, even though he hadn't played a lot lately, has stolen 8 out of 9. One ball and no strikes. Kemp hitting .282. He has 10 home runs, 30 runs batted in. And a drive hooking down the left field line. It's going to bounce and stay in play. They are going to wave for call in, and then he stops at the last moment. And it was just as well. Stephen Drew was all set to throw him out at the plate. So Matt Kemp goes 3 for 4. The tying runs are at second and third. And with 2 out, the batter will be, of course, Andre Ethier. Good play in left field by Gerardo Parra. For call would have been a dead duck had he tried to fly. So Parra did well to get the ball back in. Kemp now is 3 for 4. And it's going to be Andre Ethier. How about that for drama? His first night back. And here he is, center stage. The only difference is the 8th inning and not the 9th. Second and third, so the tying runs are out there. And 1. Ethier grounded to second. Hit a low line drive back to Lopez that was turned into a double play. And last time up, fouled out. Chad Qualls is up despite what happened in San Francisco. On deck, Manny Ramirez. Fouled away. So Ethier in a hole, 0-2. Lopez had made 92 pitches coming into the inning. Got the first 2 batters, DeWitt and Belliard. But then for call, singles and Kemp doubles into third. 0-2 to Ethier. One and 2. With a runner at third and a tiring Lopez, you check. He does not have a wild pitch. This will be pitch number 110 for Rodrigo Lopez. Second and third, 2 out. 1-2 the count to Ethier. Check swing. They're going to look. No swing, says Bob Davidson. So the deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Runners at second and third, and the Dodgers trail by 2. And Manny waits. 45,325 are here. 2-2. Ground ball to the right side. Kicked by Johnson. Picks it up. Throws it away. In comes Furcal. In comes Kemp. And the Dodgers have tied it up. Kelly Johnson will probably be charged with 2 errors as the Dodgers get a huge break. A.J. Hinch terribly disappointed, not to mention the feelings of Rodrigo Lopez. It looked like he had gotten the last out. And Manny Ramirez coming up. Fumbled, hurried, and then threw it away. So the Dodgers get a huge break. The error by Kelly Johnson, we'll see if they give him 1 or 2. Not that it makes much difference. He had only made 2 errors so far this year. So Kemp, representing the tying run, came home, preceded by Furcal. Well, Lopez, no doubt, with his heart broken here. And Manny coming up. Four runs, 6 hits for each side, and Kelly Johnson is going to be charged with 2 errors. Manny homered, struck out, and flied to center. The outfield about as deep as you can play and still be on the grass. And the crowd really into it now with the chant, Manny, Manny. Ethier at first, 4-4, 8th inning. 4-1. On deck, hard luck, James Loney, who has hit 2 bullets tonight and is 0 for 3. Well, Lopez has been a pro since 1999, so I'm sure he's had the ups and downs back of him throughout his career. Little foul ball out of play. 1-1. To repeat, 45,325. So that was a big double error by Kelly Johnson, especially since San Diego looks like they're on the way to beat the Mets. And, of course, for Chad Billingsley, he not only is off the hook, he might even pick up a victory, which would be well-deserved. 1-1. 1-2. Lopez in the bottom of the 8th inning with all the disappointment, still throwing 90. Down in the Dodger bullpen, they had Justin Miller and Jonathan Broxton. 1-2 to Manny Ramirez. 4-4 in the 8th. Light breeze blowing out towards right center. And down he goes. Pitched him in with a fastball. And for Kelly Johnson, a frustrating inning. And the Dodgers get even at the end of 8, a 4-4 tie. Gasoline. We're on the driver's side. By Quikrete. For affordable home improvement projects, visit Quikrete.com. Quikrete is what America's made of. And by Jack Daniels. 4-4 as we go to the 9th inning. Downcast Rodrigo Lopez, who was so close. He has made 115 pitches lasting 8 innings. And then a crusher on the double error by his second baseman, Kelly Johnson. Meanwhile, Chad Billingsley made 120 pitches, allowed 4 runs, struck out 11, and did not walk anybody. He had one game against Cincinnati where he didn't walk anybody, but he only lasted 3 innings. So it was a tremendous effort by Billingsley tonight. And now here's Big Jonathan. And he's facing Stephen Drew. Drew has struck out, grounded out twice, 0 for 3. As far as Broxton is concerned, Drew is hitting .333 against him, 5 for 15. Big John has 12 saves in the last 22 games after having won in the first 28 games. 1-1. And as usual, he would strike fear in the hearts of a hitter when you look at that strikeout to walk ratio. 33 strikeouts, 3 walks. 1-1. Ball 2. Six times this year, only 6, but 6 of their 20 wins have the D-backs had kind of a walk in the park kind of a game. They have scores and winning games 9-1, 15-6. Remember, they had a 13-run inning against Pittsburgh. 13-5, 9-1, 11-1, and 13-1. However, the rest of the games have really been a tussle. 3-1 to Stephen Drew. Shot up the middle, but that's where Furcal was hanging out. Run away. And the batter will be Mark Reynolds.
Third baseman, number 27, Mark Reynolds.
Reynolds against Broxton is 2 for 10. He has struck out 6 of his 10 at-bats. Tonight, he struck out 2 of his 3 appearances against Billingsley. And ball 1. We told you that San Diego was leading the Mets 6-1, but Jose Reyes had a 2-run triple, then he came in to score. So the San Diego lead is now 6-4. Ground ball up the middle, no play on that one. So Reynolds goes 1 for 4 as he singles to center. And the batter will be Adam LaRoche.
First baseman, number 25.
Adam LaRoche 1 for 5, striking out twice against Broxton, and hold everything. Is Reynolds all right? Reynolds hustling down the line on the base hit. A.J. Hinch talking to him. Hurt his right leg, ankle. Well, he leaves there okay. But now you see him struggling, grimacing as he got to the bag. Want to make sure, of course, he didn't tear a hamstring or even just tighten up. Well, looks like Mark's okay. Matt Williams, first base coach, making sure that he is. And Adam LaRoche will be the batter. So Reynolds at first, 1 out, 4-4 in the 9th. Ball 1. LaRoche tonight 1 for 3. Hitting .200 against Broxton. Foul back. Adam hitting .273 with 7 home runs, 33 runs batted in. For Arizona, they could taste it They were leading 4-2 in the bottom of the 8th inning with 2 out. They could taste a win that was snap a 7-game losing streak and a 6-game losing streak on this current road trip. 1-2. Kirk Gibson standing up in front of Rodrigo Lopez. I guess his day will come soon, perhaps. Become a skipper. A name indelibly written in the Dodger history book. One and two. In the dirt, gets away from Martin. Down to second base goes Reynolds. So now for Arizona, they certainly want to make sure that Reynolds' leg is okay. It's a wild pitch charged to Jonathan Broxton. For Big John, that's his first wild pitch. Well, apparently Reynolds has assured Arizona that he's okay and ready to run, but they're going to take that vote away from him, and Augie Ojeda goes out there. That certainly figured. So Ojeda will run for Reynolds.
Attention, please. Punch running. Number 11, Augie Ojeda.
Well, Reynolds goes out. 1 for 4. And Augie takes over as the runner. Ojeda, born here in Los Angeles. Last we checked, he was living in Southgate. 2-2 the count. 1 out. And LaRoche strikes out a third time. So 12 D-backs have struck out tonight, but what's new? I mean, if there was ever a strikeout team, this is the club. So Broxton picks up 1 after Billingsley had 11. And here's Chris Young. Young is 0 for 12 against Broxton, and he has struck out 7 of the 12 at-bats. And yet, very dangerous, homered in the second, flied to left in the 4th, rounded to 3rd in the 7th. And a strike. 12 strikeouts tonight. Arizona has now struck out 480 times. 480. Dodgers have struck out about 330. 0-1. 0-2. For Young, he had struck out 44 times coming in. Upton has struck out 69 times. Reynolds went down twice tonight. He struck out 72 times. Broxton trying to put him away and get to the bottom of the 9th. Got him. High fastball. So Broxton strikes out 2, gives up a hit. Arizona leads a man, and here they come. Loney, Blake, and Martin in a 4-4 tie. As we go to the bottom of the ninth inning, each starting pitcher pitching very, very well. Actually, Lopez, in many ways, was out pitching Billingsley and looked like he might have a victory until the two errors by Kelly Johnson. So one went 120 pitches, the other 115. There was only one walk. Lopez gave it up. And the strikeouts, usual for the Dodger pitcher Billingsley, 11 strikeouts, and then Roxton added 2 more. And the Dodgers going up against Lopez, there were only 4 strikeouts. So now, Esmerling Vasquez from the Dominican, 6'1", built like a 2-iron, maybe 170 pounds. He'll be 27 years old in November and was signed as a free agent 7 years ago. Basically, fastball, kind of a slurvy curve, and a changeup. Dodgers will have Loney, Blake, and Martin. Loney is 0 for 3, and he has drilled the ball twice. Ball 1. Loney fouled out, then lined out to Upton, who made a sliding catch, and then last time up hit a bullet right at Kelly Johnson. 1 ball and no strikes. Ball 2. Vasquez in his 15th game, but an earned run average over 5. One of the many in the beleaguered Arizona bullpen. Off the plate, so he goes 3-0. One change, Augie Ojeda, who ran for Mark Reynolds, stays in the game at third. And Mark becomes a spectator now to rest that leg. Connor Jackson is a spectator alongside of him. 3-0 the count to Loney. Vasquez has allowed 3 home runs. That's a strike. Three and 1. Way outside. So the Dodgers get a winning run on the walk here in the 9th inning. So Casey Blake flied to center, flied to right, struck out. He is 0 for 3. Blake has actually sacrificed twice this year, in case you're thinking about that. Russell Martin is on deck. They look bunt. Ojeda plays in on the grass. Ball 1. So we look at another thing about Vasquez. He has struck out 15, but he has walked 9. So you know he's been fighting it. Blake checking with Larry Boa. 1-0. In there. For Vasquez, not that the Dodgers have seen a lot of him, but Blake is 1 for 4 in the past. Martin on deck only had 1 plate appearance, and Vasquez walked him. He's given up 1 home run this year, and that was to Efield. 1-1. And that dropped in nicely for a strike. 1-2. Good change. James Loney over there at first base. If you're not watching him carefully, he's off and running. He's stolen 6 out of 8. Not that you expect him to run now, but he can do it. One and 2 to Casey Blake. Fouled away, so he's still up there. 1-2. Another off-speed pitch. Casey kind of lunging at that. Saturday against the Giants, Vasquez worked an inning into third and allowed 2 runs and 3 hits. 1-2. 4-4, bottom of the ninth, nobody out, Loney at first. Fastball, and it's going into center for a base hit. Loney takes one look at Young and holds on. So after a couple of change-ups where Casey was having trouble staying back on the ball, he got a fastball and singles to center. So now Russell Martin is coming up. 2 on and nobody out. And again, the Arizona bullpen, very suspect. A.J. Hinch going out. Russell Martin, in case you wonder, has 1 sacrifice this year. And then you have Blake DeWitt on deck. So Joe thinking over his options, and A.J. out there holding court. Of course, again, we told you the bullpen has been in tatters. Earned run average over 8. Juan Gutierrez gets up in the bullpen.
55, Russell Martin.
Also, Hinch knows if I bring somebody in with men on base, my bullpen has allowed 48% of the runners to score. So he's sticking with Vasquez. Martin is 0 for 3 tonight. Again, Ojeda playing up on the grass at third. LaRoche now creeps in a little. Martin shows bunt, takes ball 1. And it got away from Snyder, but the runners didn't realize it, didn't see it. 1 ball and no strikes. So Loney at second, Blake at first. Bottom of the ninth, 4-4. You can see Martin trying to help, but by the time Loney could see it, it was too late. The corners are really up now, convinced that Martin will try to bunt. He's showing bunt. Almost got hit. Ball 2. Fastball at 93. And look out, they've got Loney between second and third. A high throw, running him to third base for the out. Don't know what happened there. We were too busy watching Martin get out of the way. And Loney's not about to talk to anybody. What a time to get picked off. Let's take a look. Shortstop Drew gets in between James and the bag. And Loney thinks third base is open when Ojeda left the bag. That was not a good play in the 9th inning with nobody out, needless to say. So Loney thought the door was open and it slammed in his face. Not to mention what it's done to the insides of Joe Torre. On the play, Blake takes second, but 1 out. Now Martin is not bunting. On the corner, 2-1. One out, Blake at second. 2-1. Big bouncer. Kelly Johnson stays with it. Now the winning run is 90 feet away. You might say if Loney had not wandered away, that ground ball could have been a double play, and you'd have a runner at third with 2 out, as we have now. Blake DeWitt coming up. On deck, Garrett Anderson, and they will pitch to Blake DeWitt from the looks of it. Blake hitting .261. Strike. DeWitt has walked, grounded out twice, 0 for 2. (4-4), 2 out, bottom of the ninth. One and one. Blake hitting .261. Ball 2. So Vasquez gave up the walk to Loney and a single to Blake. Then the risk, the gamble by Loney that did not pay off, and Martin grounds out. Now he's 2-1 with the winning run at third base. 2 out. Oh, great changeup, and DeWitt way out in front of it. Boy, that's a terrific pitch. Blake bluffing down the line, asking balk, and the balk has been called by Tim Timmons, the first base umpire, and the Dodgers win it 5-4. Look out, boys, for broken legs as they mob, and he hollered right away. Casey Blake down the line, and the first base umpire, Tim Timmons, was the one to call it. And so the D-backs, like a last-place team, always find a way to lose. It took a double error by Kelly Johnson, and then the bizarre balk, and the Dodgers, like a ball club where things are going well, pick up the victory. Here's the balk. He leans in. Blake bluffs, and then you can see started to hold the ball out, and immediately the balk was called. Tim Timmons screaming, the first base umpire, and Bob Davidson also. There you go. And Blake causing the block. Larry Boa hollering as well. And you can see David saying, go on home and turn out the lights. So the Dodgers get a gift in the 9th inning. 5 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. And look at the smile on James Loney's face. You don't think he feels a lot better of things? 4 runs, 7 hits, and 2 errors for the D-backs. Tomorrow night, game 2 of the series, and that will be on KCAL 9. Casey Blake and Loney and the boys. Stay tuned for Dodgers Live coming up next. Good night, everybody.